Hey, folks, welcome to the book launch for 10 Ballet Dancers, written by Amanda Malek-Ahmadi, illustrated by Catherine Gutkowski, and published by the Small Tooth Dog Publishing Group. So first off, a round of applause for Amanda for getting her book out. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Amanda, welcome to it. It has been a pleasure to work with you over these last 18 months, 2 years almost of doing this. And so I want to welcome you and give you a chance to introduce yourself to people who might not know who you are. So go right ahead.
Sounds good. Well, I'm Amanda Malek-Ahmadi. I've been dancing since the womb, right? But officially since I was 5 is how I'll always answer that question because it's my favorite way to answer it. And I really have always wanted to be an author ever since that first author visit. And you see, I've got my Messy Cat book there that I mentioned in my bio. There it is. And I wasn't lying. It's signed by Mr. Tom.
Oh, that's the book. Okay, I knew you said that you had that. You know, that's great.
It's been there. Yeah, so it's just writing for me has always been a passion, but it's been something that I've picked up and put down and picked up and put down.
Yeah.
And then finally, in 2016, it was a rough year. It's a real rough year. We'd had a miscarriage. My husband had a heart attack. And I found Michelle Nelson Schmidt, who we'll talk about later, on Facebook. And she was just so encouraging and inspiring. And I needed to find something to give me joy again in my life.
Yeah.
And I found that in starting to write again. And so then I just started pursuing the writing aspect of it. And then I joined things like SCBWI in 2017. I joined Ari Chung's Storyteller Academy in 2018. I'd had a friend helping me out with things, and I'd done some querying. And then I saw his awesome Facebook ad about this is how you can write picture books. I got connected with an amazing critique group. We call each other the Story Stitchers. They are so amazing and supportive. And I love those ladies. Hi, Hillary. I see you on Instagram over there. And then I found Sean, the Small Tooth Dog Publishing Group, thanks to an SCBWI meeting. And Savannah Rogers says, hey, I know somebody who might be interested in your book. And so I contacted him in January of 2019, or we're saying it's 2018.
Could have been 1919 at this point.
Yeah, 19. Right. So because he threw me off the 18 months and the 2 years. I'm like, it hasn't been that long. So yeah. So in 2019. Yes. Yeah. And then we really connected. And in September of 2019, I got that handshake agreement. Got to announce at the SCBWI Arizona conference that I was going to be a published author. Woo-hoo. And we've gone from there. But before we move on, I promised I would do just a couple of the prize announcements. So when we're announcing the prizes, just make sure that you message me your address and let me know you were the winner. And you also need to let me know what you won. Okay. So we have.
Before you do that, 1 second. Before you do that, I want to remind people that things that really matter to us are things like comments. So put your comments when you're watching, your likes, your thumbs up, your whatevers. Those types of interactions are really important. First off, to let us know that you're here, but we really do want you to be part of this conversation, especially as we move through. So don't be shy to put your comments, your likes, your whatever, your whatevers in the comment space below as well. And so thank you for the likes. Thanks for the hearts. Okay, now back to you to go ahead and do the first set of prizes. Ooh, prizes.
Woo-hoo. And ask away about those questions too.
Sure.
So the dance charms, which you'll see them on my website, authormamanda.com, the origami owl person will actually be sending those off to you. And the first winner of that is Lydia Candy. So congratulations to Lydia Candy.
Hooray, Lydia.
Nancy D, you have won a shirt that looks just like this one. I talked to the person who donated them, and she was so generous with all her donations. I said, well, I'll wear one for the launch. And she said, cool. So you also won this particular design of a shirt. And then James Mariano, you won this amazing smelling, and it's still sealed in the package, so it's going to smell super delicious, creme brulee soap that's made by the Hoppy Goat Farm. And fun fact that I put on my website, they're from Cornville, Arizona. And my grandma, who is the person who I dedicated this book to, Evelyn Korn, She lived in Cornville and off of Chick Road. I don't know her exact address anymore, and you don't need it, so that's okay. But yeah, so she was from Cornville. So I thought that was very cool that they're also from Cornville. My husband had won a gift basket from them at my 20-year high school reunion. And then Darcy Nielsen, and this perfect chance to get these up closer to me. You have won a signed paperback copy of 10 Ballet Dancers. So that will be coming your way. So congratulations to those first 4 winners.
Congratulations. Very nice. I noticed that I'm looking down here because that's where the only place I can see the comments. I noticed that Emily says that she's already got her copy of her book. Emily, where did you order your book from? Was it an independent store? Was it Amazon? Where did you do that? Because I know that we haven't shipped from the office here yet. Kelsey hasn't shipped yet because she doesn't have any books to ship. They're coming this week. Emily, where did you order your book? I'm curious to know where you got your first delivery from. So that would be fantastic to let us.
That's Emily Tracy, and I'm going to say Amazon. And if I'm right, Tracy wins a prize. Emily wins a prize. Was I right?
I don't see it yet. There are a few moments behind us as well on the screen. So we're a couple minutes ahead of them comment wise, things like that. Hey folks, if you are interested in the book and you do not have a copy of it yet, we invite you to go to 10balletdancers.com, 10 balletdancers.com, and you can order it directly from us. It's available in hardback and paperback, and everything should start shipping. Should start shipping the week of the 25th or so. 34 pages. It's in a hardback and a paperback as well, and we really encourage you to pick up a copy of it. Give it to a friend. Give it to an associate. Give it to a child. Give it to a library. Enshrine it. Put candles in front of it.
Dance around it.
Yeah, dance around it as well. So my question for you, Amanda, is you've talked a little bit about this. By the way, can you tell people what SCBWI means?
Sure. It is the Society of Children's Books Writers and Illustrators.
Right. Very good. And they're all over the place. I know that most of us are members of that as well. I had forgotten that you had was it I'd forgotten that that's where you first found out about us, because we're not really active in them here as writers, but I forgot that's where you first had heard about the stuff that we've done. And I've talked to people that you've referred to us since then, so I'm very pleased with that. So what has this journey been like? Can you talk a little bit about your first influences? You have the book in the background there. Can you talk a little bit about that at all?
Sure. I mean, I really feel like I can still remember clearly, and I checked with my old librarian from Zuni, where I attended 3rd through 6th. So it had to have been 2nd grade. She said she doesn't remember Mr. Tom, but like the way that we faced and just being enamored there was the author reading this book to us. And then at the end, I got to have it. So, I mean, had I been more, I've got just dozens and dozens of things out here, but I'm like, I don't need to show everything today. But ever since I was a child, I've been writing in tons of books. I still have books that I wrote off of Storybook Weaver, if anybody remembers that program and stuff. And that was actually one of the stories. It was about hunting, because my dad was a big hunter and had shared it with my grandma. And I said to her, someday, Grandma, if I get published, I'm going to dedicate my first book to you. So when this happened, and I got to tell Sean that story, and so Evelyn Korn is my grandma. Korn is my dad's mom.
And the dedication there on the first page. That's good.
Yeah. And then just I put up some of like my favorites up here. Here you have Brian Pinkney and Andrea Davis Smith, who I got to meet them. And as I stood in line waiting to get the signature, I had to tell myself, don't tell them you love them. Don't tell them you love them. So I practiced saying, I adore you. And I had told Andrea how I had taught our son Vincent, who's our oldest, like scratch art. And I said I played the Duke in the background and stuff. And she said, you're such a good mom. I'll never forget Andrea saying that to me. I was like, well, you got to introduce them to the Duke. And so there's their signatures there. It's the very first book I ever owned. of Andrea Davis Pinkney and Brian Pinkney. And then one of my favorites, and I knew, I was like, see, dance books, they need to be out there, is they had created one about Alvin Ailey. So when they were there in 2018, I brought like my whole stack of books, and then bought like their new books that they had available there. And she's like, oh man, the shipping from your luggage. And I was like, oh no, they were all in my carry-on.
Right.
They were a big influence. And then, as I've mentioned, Michelle Nelson Schmidt, who we get to talk about her more, and she's going to read my story tomorrow, but here are some of her books. And just, she's who inspired me to really start again in my adult life and helped lead off to this journey that I am on now, which has just been amazing. So those would be my influences. I used to sit and write poetry all the time. You know, high school, I remember just sitting there and I'd have my book and sitting on the gym floor, writing some poetry.
Yeah. How important it is to do that, to write. You know, you've been at our So You Want to Publish a Book workshop. And you know that I talk in there about the fact people come to me as a publisher and they're like, oh, I want to write a book. And then I ask them, have you written a book? And their answer is no. How do I publish something you haven't written? So the discipline and even the casual discipline of writing, writers write. If you're going to write a book, write a book. If it's a children's book, nonfiction book, I don't care, write. So that's really been interesting. You know, your story, you know, you talk about meeting the author in school visits. How powerful that is to do that. Have you had anybody ask you to autograph your book yet?
Yeah, somebody who ordered off of Facebook, Shanna, she said, I ordered it, and when it comes in, can you please sign it? And I said, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that.
It's an interesting transfer of energy, how energy moves between people. And you know, people will a lot of times will say, you know, well, autographing a book is so egotistical, and it's not about ego. It's about that's that moment of energy. So think about how powerful, you know, Mr. Tom was for you on the cat book. I mean, it's just really, it's such an honor and privilege to write, an honor and privilege to get your books out to people. I'm so happy for you that you get to join the ranks of that, and the sense of service it is to produce a book for someone. So congratulations again, round of applause.
Thank you.
I see Basil says that he, and excuse me if I've really screwed up how you want that pronounced, also ordered a book from an indie bookstore. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. If you have questions or thoughts or anything you want to drop into the comment section below, we really do appreciate you being here. We really appreciate you being here today. And we want to, if you've got comments or whatever, go ahead and do that. Hey, is it time for another prize?
Sounds good. Did Emily get back to us?
Yes, Emily did order through Amazon. So thank you for doing that.
All right. And so Emily, you will get, I don't have it to show, but it will be another wrapped, and it's called, I didn't write the full thing down. It's a goat. These are all made from like goat milk, these soaps, and it's some kind of stout. And I apologize, but you won the stout one. So just tell me you won the stout one, and you won a stout soap. So go, Emily. All right. And I see on Instagram, Hillary, I'm going to say you have won a wild mint coffee.
Oh!
And there go my books. Ouch. That's okay. I'm all right.
It's an earthquake.
And Deborah, we heard you at the beginning there. So let's go ahead and give away to Deborah the dance charm. I'm just going off of memory who I've seen. So Deborah, go ahead and email me your address to claim that prize. And then not email, message me. And then Hillary the same, and Emily the same, and we'll get those prizes to you. I'm trying to think. I don't. Those are the names I remember so far.
Basil.
Oh yes, and
I'm
so
not sure where. I'm not sure where Basil is. So
that's okay. I believe she's in New York. She's a teacher. Okay. She also. I'm very excited that you pre-ordered. Thank you. And she has the flat dancers. The flat dancers will go visit her, and she's a school teacher. And do you know she's Basil E. Frankweiler, and she created a Facebook just today or yesterday to be able to be in this event. So thank you so much. And Sean, that's from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Baisley Frankweiler. That's her handle. And I absolutely love that book too. 5th grade Battle of the Books. That would be another thing that inspired my journey as an author. So I am going to send you some awesome rarity nails that my friend Shauna put up on the site. So yeah, maybe we'll stop there for prizes. If you want to be considered for those prizes, keep commenting, ask us questions. I'd love to answer your questions, and we'll pull some more winners from the comments and questions.
Cool. That would be good. Arthur says, from May Rose, Arthur says, that's so cool. Now I know an amazing author and she likes the same book as me. So which book are you referring to? The same book?
I believe he's probably referring to the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Baisley Frankweiler, but Arthur, he is actually the one who got the ballet dancers the second time. And so those flat ballet dancers, if you go to hashtag flat ballet dancers on Instagram, you can follow their journey. Unfortunately, they got stuck in California for about a month due to the fires, but they made it out okay. And I'm so grateful that people are making it out okay in there. And thank you to the firefighters who are fighting those fires out in California. The dancers so far have been in Arizona, and then they went to Florida, California, Utah, and they just made it to Ohio yesterday. So that one will be posted pretty soon. My friend, a Story Stitcher critique group member, she's got them right now in Ohio, and she has a very fun plan for them. So go ahead and check out hashtag flat ballet dancers so that you can see all the adventures the dancers have gone on, and they're still going. So I would love for them to travel the whole 50 United States by the time of the birthday of this book. So the one book birthday, October 13th, 2021. Let's see how far they can go. And they're welcome to go to the same state more than once. That is already in the mix.
No problem.
They have about 40 destinations set up already.
Yep. May Rose says he loves the What If Monster.
Oh, so I didn't know you guys were fans of that too. That's awesome. Michelle will be so excited. Yes, that was the very first one I owned from Miss Michelle. And Cordelia's back there.
Oh, yeah. Basil says, thank you. Our class, our grade is participating in the NYCB Nutcracker workshop. So very excited to share this book with them. Excellent. That's terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. Hey, listen, I do believe it's time for percussion.
All right. Sounds
I think
good.
it's
Mike's been
bongo time or whatever, whatever he's going to bring in on us. So I'm going to let you guys do percussion for a while. Knock yourselves out.
All right. Sounds good. Here he comes.
Oh, there he is. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
All right. Look at that. Tell us what instrument you're working on.
All right. So this is a djembe. So this is a combination of a djembe, which is an African drum, and a dombek, which is a Middle Eastern drum. So the qualities of it is that it has both a low pitch and a high pitch. So very interesting drum. I've actually had this since my freshman year of college. So going on about 21 years now that I've had this drum, and I still love it.
And he used to use it to drum at my modern dance classes with Frances Smith Cohen. It was amazing. She loved him coming and having the live music. And I used to joke, I was like, she loves you more than me. And she was a Martha Graham dancer, and she'd always talk about how Martha loved her Marvin more than she loved her. And so it was kind of funny. They were kind of the same then with that.
Very good. All right. Well, we were going to talk about percussion and the rhythm of the book. So it's all yours.
So the book itself, so kind of part of the really cool backstory of this book is that as Amanda was, getting the words out and kind of putting down the actual text, she was trying to figure out kind of what rhythm to say the book in. And when she just said it out loud, sort of a cappella, if you will, I said, yes, that follows a rhythm, and it's kind of a. And so I, wrote down, actually like transcribed, the music notes of it into, quarters and eighth notes.
Yeah.
And we just went from there, and it really helped put some structure to it. And then, the one exception is at the end of the book, the last 2 pages have a slightly different rhythm, but still, the idea was that it wasn't just the dance element of the book, but there was the the rhythm that underlies it as well.
Very nice, very nice. And I think you were trying to teach Amanda.
Yes.
So that's the other thing. He gives me too much credit. He said I was reading it in the right rhythm, and I wasn't. One night I met with my critique group. I'm super excited about this story. I'm like, you guys, this is the one. I've got it. And they're like, Amanda, it has like no rhythm and all this. And it was super late at night. We go till about 11 o'clock at night, and poor Ohio Amy, she's up until 1 and everything, but we're all troopers, right? And I print out my story for him again, and it was like, does this have rhythm? He's like, yeah, it goes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
no, you got it.
I'm getting it now. Finally, it's taken a year at least.
All right. Well, now it's your chance. It's your chance to demonstrate it to us. I think the drums may be cutting out the microphone, but we'll try again and see what happens. Show us the rhythms.
All right. So the main rhythm you use throughout most of the book is it's basically a quarter note and then 4/8 notes and then a quarter note. That's the first part of it, and then so it's 10 ballet dancers. Da, 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 da. So if you use that, you basically can use that rhythm, to underlie and keep the pace throughout the book.
I like the rhythm that we put that book into. Amanda, you and I have talked about this a lot, but I like pattern disrupt, pattern interrupt. And, when you do a counting book, everybody wants 10 jumping monkeys. I forgot whatever the monkeys are doing, 10 something monkeys. And everybody wants that. And we really produce kind of a different ABBD kind of ABVC kind of rhythm on that, a little bit different. So I thought that was really very, very creative. Cool.
We'll put you on the spot. 10 monkeys jumping on the bed. What does that sound like?
Oh, so I remember I was counting that out. So I think that the 10 monkeys jumping in the bed is in a 3/4 time signature. So 3 beats to a measure. Whereas for 10 ballet dancers, we are in a more the more commonly known 4/4 time, where you have 4 beats to a measure.
Because is the 10 little monkeys, is that more of a waltz rhythm?
Yes, a 3/4 is a waltz rhythm. I do know that about my rhythms.
Yes, we should ask the dancer.
Not this dancer though, because my internal rhythm is lacking. But yeah, can we put you on the spot? Can you do 10 little monkeys jumping on the bed? A little bit different there.
Yeah.
And then cool. let's see if I've got that pattern disrupt ready. Surprise! Yeah. He gives me that like, not quite sure, but sure, honey, I'll give it to you. Did you know that confidence he had in it? So you do that one. Da-da! No.
Oh yeah, now I messed
up. I was just looking at him, getting him all nervous. Is that what happened there?
Yeah, it's like when you messed me up on our wedding night for a dance.
You didn't expect it. All right. So,
always play the dancer.
Ba, 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 ba. Happy birthday to you, Miss Flo.
Yeah.
I know it now.
Yeah.
This is stuck in me. It's finally internalized, which that always just really threw me off and just was the funniest thing. I'm like, okay, so I wrote this in an internal rhythm that then I didn't recognize, because honestly, when I would read it to my critique group, I would be like, 10 ballet dancers warm up at the bar. That's how I was reading it. And they're like, Amanda, it has got no rhythm. I was like, but it does. Right. I hope, did anybody get out their pots and pans and try that out? Or just banging on your floor or on your knee?
I'm banging on my head. Let's see. What do we got here? people are liking your story about rhythm. That's terrific. Very good. All right, excellent. Anything else on the rhythm? That was great.
You got anything else? Are you good?
No, just was very happy to share this with everybody, and hopefully, it helps bring out more life and more energy from the book. And hopefully the characters come to life a little bit more, knowing that there is a rhythm, to what they're doing.
Excellent. Very good. Mike, thanks a lot, man. That was
thank you for having me. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yes. We're so glad that we could have him in his own house.
We would have had him live too, had we gone live.
That's right. He would have. Yes, absolutely.
He's so awesome like that.
But that's terrific. Somebody else had talked about, maybe you and I could talk about this a little bit. Emily says, I'm loving the diversity in the dancers, the size, gender, and race. Very cool to be able to read a book to both my son and daughter that shows the world around us. Can you talk about that at all? A little bit? Can you talk about our background and our discussions about diversity in the book?
Of course. Well, let's talk about that first one of just the gender one. And you ready? The moment of truth. And I revealed it in my first blog post, is that this was originally, and Sean, I queried you with it being called 10 Ballerinas.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had this brilliant idea. So the dance company I danced for, we were in show before I was going to meet with Sean next. And I asked my director, hey, can I take a picture with the company? Can I get a couple photos? Just because dance is just so different and not everybody knows dance and the dance moves, and the words in here are all about dance. So I thought it would be a great idea to have a visual, and she agreed, and the dancers agreed. And then I went, luckily before I met with the dancers, I thought, what am I thinking? What was I thinking? There are boys, there are guys, there are men in our dance company. How could they not be represented? I think it's just because, I've seen so many ballerina books and things like that. So when I first wrote it, I was like, yeah, I want to write 10 ballerinas. And when it had been dormant in my head, that's what I had been calling it. And I'm so glad I had that epiphany moment, and that we have male dancers in our company. That got me to say, no, 10 ballet dancers is what it needs to be. And luckily, those words are both only 4 syllables, so the same amount of syllables. Right. So it didn't change anything. So it was really meant to be that there. And then also in that blog post, I talked about the diversity that we have. And that is awesome. What we have in our company is those diverse backgrounds. We also have something that's not shown here, but the age differences. We have from as young as 19, and now we have like a pre-company, Proco 2 it's called, which is our 18 to 21 year olds. And then there's the 21 to 50 plus. So I'm 39. I'm going to keep dancing. I'm just going to keep dancing. And this company is going to allow for that, which is very exciting. And so see how we can see this page. I think that looks pretty good on your end. But this gentleman right here.
Yeah.
For those of you who have followed along this journey, just making sure Instagram can see him too. That's Lalo. He is my friend from the company. That is exactly what Lalo looks like. And when he got to see one of the proofs of a picture just off my phone one night, he was like, oh, it's me. And I was so excited because he helped me do all the pictures once we got Catherine to illustrate, so that we could really show the dance moves, and she could share that with the world through this book. And I did keep this close by. What I was talking about was that, and what Sean's talking about is that diversity. So this is my extent of how I illustrate. There's my lovely clip art. So we had clip art, and then here is, we'll show this nice one where we've got one of the dancers exiting. So you can see the diversity there. I'll bring it up closer to both cameras. See if that helps to, oops, okay. There we go.
Is that Lalo there in that picture? I can't tell from
this
here.
This is Kwan.
Oh, Kwan, okay.
This is my bud Kwan. And then Lalo is back here.
Yeah, okay.
Behind the
right,
bar.
Okay. Yeah.
But I will show you my favorite photo, which is then going to be similar in the book. And we'll see if we can get Lalo close. And I've shared this one on feeds before. I'm going to show Instagram there for just a second. And then coming closer here.
Yep.
So this is my favorite page. Lalo is having I know you're seeing my ring light now.
That's
Lala's
okay.
having that lovely, silly, like reaction to the dancers.
Right.
There. So that's my favorite photo. But you can really see how this company is so diverse, and so grateful to Rachel White that she provides that opportunity for so many diverse dancers to be with. And the late Frances Smith Cohen, she also did that with her center dance ensemble and her CDE2, which I was involved in. And yeah, and you know, the world dance is really for everybody. That's another thing, you know, with all this diversity. It truly is. Jose Limon, one of my favorite modern dancers besides Martha Graham, and he was a Martha Graham dancer. His quote is, "Every man and woman has the innate ability to dance." And it's really true. And recently also in a blog post, I talked about that if you really think about it, music just comes so naturally to humans and dancing, because think of babies. As soon as they hear music, they're just moving and grooving, and you may have not ever taught them anything, and then there they are just dancing away. And so I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think that dance is something that really can unite everybody.
I think the nature of arts is the arts and expressive behavior is much more ingrained to us. We've started to a lot of societal stuff has said only those people dance, only those people tell stories, which, you know, my work is out of spoken word. Only those people tell stories, only those people make music. And the truth is that I think we are hardwired for expressive outlets, and dance certainly is a piece of that. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ability to just move. You know what I liked about working with the book, you know, we talked about, as a publisher, you have to make a lot of choices when it comes to what happens in a book. It's not just we snap our fingers and pictures magically appear. You have to make a lot of choices. And so we made some very deliberate choices in this book to say we want to look at what a typical dance class, especially in, let's just say, you know, suburban America, you know, because every little girl dances, right? You know, that type of thing. And not every little girl dances, but, you know, a lot of them end up in there. And that diversity, I think, was really well reflected in the book. And that was an intentional choice. Yeah, I knew when you first came to me and we said 10 ballerinas, I knew that we would have to go ballet dancers. I mean, you know, there was something else. Right when we were first talking about the book, there was a big thing about boys dancing. I can't remember what that was now.
Yeah, that was the news that happened on the news. I think her name is Laura, and she had that thing where she started laughing about Prince William's son enjoying ballet, and it became a huge movement and everything. And just to shout out another book is Boys Dance from ABT. There is a book that released on September 22nd called Boys Dance, and that is a book all about the boys of the American Ballet Theater. So I thought that was really cool that they were able to get that book out and speak to that topic.
May Rose says in a comment section, by the way, if you're watching with us right now, first off, we really appreciate the fact that you're here, and feel free to leave likes and hearts and comments as you go, and we'll try to address everything we can. May Rose says the diversity is so important. Arthur is often the only boy in his dances, and people overlook him when they're announcing the group. They just say the girls are going to dance. When we visited the San Francisco Ballet, it was extraordinary to see so many men dancing, but it took driving over an hour away to really see a community that embraced diversity on stage. Yeah, we have a lot to learn, don't we? Sometimes. May, thanks for sharing that. May Rose, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that very much.
Yes, thank you, and go ahead.
No, please, you go. It's all yours.
Oh, I was just gonna say, well, guess what, Arthur? Because you guys have been participating, you're gonna get another day, another plie shirt. And if you look on my site, just to bend down, it actually has a boy on there taking a little bend. It's not quite his bow, but he's doing a plie, the way that the artist Cami, how they had their artist create for their shirt. So that's gonna go to you, Arthur.
Well,
Make sure you message me your address.
We'll remind people about that at the end too. I want to come back to your mock-up of the book that you did. But before you do that, I think you and I have yapped and talked and shared. I think now it's time for you to read that beautiful book.
Sounds good.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Amanda Malek-Ahmadi reading her work, 10 Ballet Dancers. Amanda, it's all yours.
All right, so here it is, 10 Ballet Dancers by Amanda Malek-Ahmadi and written by Catherine Gutowski. And just beautiful pages. Someone came over recently and they touched it and they're like, it just feels so soft. She talked about the paper here. And then here it is. That's that dedication I was talking about to Evelyn Korn, a childhood dream. Oh, sorry, a childhood promise kept. And this dancer is actually doing one of my favorite moves called a tour jeté. All right, here we go. Fingers crossed they get the rhythm right. Oh, and then I have a special request, Sean and Mike, and is it Casey? Kelsey?
Kelsey.
Kelsey,
Yeah.
I want to hear some shout outs of the numbers and all of you at home. I'm hoping you're shouting out the numbers. Okay. Because I'm not going to say the number because that's the fun part for your kids to say. So right now, Sean and Mike and Kelsey are my kids. All right, ready? Here we go. 10 ballet dancers warm up at the bar. Pliés, tendus, dégagés, all looking fine. One chaîné away, and now there are
9.
And that's perfect because that's exactly how it would go in a live read aloud, where we're not quite saying it at the same time. I love it. 9 ballet dancers review port de bras. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, looking really great. 1 grand jeté away, leaving only
8.
See if I flip it this way for you guys.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
All right. 8 ballet dancers practice pirouettes, spinning, spotting, smiling till Lalo bumps Devin. 1 chassé away, leaving only
7.
7 ballet dancers perform an adage, stumbling during arabesque. The teacher says, please fix. 1 pas de chasse away, leaving only
6.
We lost Mike there. 6 ballet dancers sauté for allegro. Up, down, turn around. The music feels alive. 1 brisé away, and now there are
5. Oh, he did a much better job there.
5 ballet dancers waltz to the beat. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3 across the floor. 1 glissade away, and now there are
4.
4 ballet dancers soar during leaps. But ma develope like birds so free. 1 soda busks away, leaving only
3.
3 ballet dancers prepare for recital, trying on costumes, bright pink and blue. 1 tour jeté away, and now there are
2.
2 ballet dancers start to reverence, bow and curtsy, say goodbye, class is almost done. When both PK turn away, leaving
None.
Sean, did you almost say 1?
Oh, I'm trying to do my best kindergartner right now. None.
1 dance teacher stands all alone, wondering where did my dancers go. Surprise! The ballet dancers squeal and shout, happy birthday to you, Miss Flo. And then here is, oh, thank you, Sean. Thank you.
Round of applause.
Here is the lovely glossary that was created, or the pronunciation guide, whatever you would like to call this, but it's going to give you the French term. And I always love talking to the children when I teach ballet. I said, you know what language you're learning? It's French. And then we talk about that a bit, but plie, and then it will give you the definition and it gives you that pronunciation guide, so that you'd be able to say it. So it's very fun here. And the art director who created this, she was able to like pull pictures and go from there. And then the back of the book, very exciting. This was a big moment for me. And Sean has been amazing. And not all the time as an author do you get to have so much say in what's going on with your book. But I said, if I can get Michelle Nelson Schmidt to write a blurb about this book, can it please, please, please go on the back of the book? It's so important to me. And so not only did my childhood dream come true of getting this beautiful book created, but my favorite author illustrator, she wrote this blurb for me, and she's going to read this book tomorrow night. Again, we'll talk more about that later, but she says, a delightful and charming picture book that is sure to have aspiring young dancers twirling and pirouetting along with accounting rhymes and sweet illustrations. The author does a lovely job of teaching dance terms while also entertaining. Beautifully done. So thank you for that, Michelle. I'm just so excited to see that.
Yay. That's very nice. Very nice. Yeah, we try, we're a little different as a publisher, it's kind of a smaller house, and we're very selective about the pieces that we put together, and we like to work with the author as much as we can. There's a balance between what has to be done versus what the author wants versus what's going to make a good book. And so I'm delighted that we were able to work so closely together on that project. Arthur, who you gave a prize to, says, woohoo! Thanks, Arthur. Let's see. May Rose says bravo. Deborah says loved it. She also said one instead of none, so I don't feel so bad. Kieran says, I love the book. It's so cute and wonderfully inclusive. So that's terrific. That is a great thing. I wanted to come back to you. One of the reasons that I'm going to use a term, you got a book deal, which I don't like that term, but you got a book deal,
Okay.
was because of your energy around your own work and your own project. And can you talk a little bit more about the mock-up that you did and how you used it? That's one of the things that clinched it for me. So, besides all the other things, but one of the things was like, oh, Amanda is serious. Can you talk about how you used your dummy, your mock-up?
Sure. So I can also tell you how I learned to create these. So back when I used to write my own stories and in college and stuff, I was like, oh yeah, I had created a dummy, but I didn't know pacing and things like that. But when I took Ari Chung's Storyteller Academy, it was specifically about, how to create dummies and crafting picture books and such. So that really helped this along and to understand. And now when you approach the big houses and stuff like this is a big no-no actually to have a dummy and such. But Sean and I had met via one of his Story Rise events and such, because I'm like, I'm gonna get my face out there. I'm like, I believe so much in this book. I'd emailed you. I was like, yeah, I'd love to come meet you at the Story Rise event. But I always made sure at those events not to, push too much. I was just like, introduced myself. So you could just put, a name to a face to a name, and just, really focus on talking about your Story Rise. And like, I look forward to hearing from you about my book. So I think that's key sometimes, that, I really try to still, besides my excitement, maintain that professionalism. Like, I know the steps I'm supposed to be taking. And then you invited me to that author, how to get your work published. And that's when I got to hear your awesome, I'm an author story.
Oh yeah, the
which
author
that will
story.
always
That's right.
stick with me. And then that night, I had this ready to go. So that was an event that was in March. And then I pulled you and Michelle over, your lovely wife, and we got to take a peek at it and stuff. And my over eagerness, I'm like, you can have it. You're like, that's okay. That's okay.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're approaching public, you got to be a little careful of your over eagerness, but they understand we're human and we're excited about our projects. And like you said, that was one of the things that got you excited for this project also. But when creating a dummy, it really helps with the pacing and everything. And I even had, like, there's Mike's original. I know it's like very dark.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
But that was how he'd written out the notes the very first time for me. I had everything going on. And then we got those couple of pictures right beforehand. So there's the dancers plieing and tonduing and dégagéing. And then there's Quan Shanae off the page. We did this like right before our performance. And then so we just took a couple of those shots. It's very hard to catch a leap in the air. But I believe if you go back, Lalo and I managed to catch his. My favorite page there. So it just, as I mentioned before, I thought it's going to be really good to approach this publisher or any publisher that's not too familiar with dance with some pictures so that they really get a feel for the words. Because if they just see the words, I was afraid that they'd be like, no, I don't know French. I don't know these ballet terms, and you couldn't envision it. So that's what dummies help to do also. And as an author, if you're writing, even if you're not an illustrator, even if you're a clip art person like me, just even getting those pictures there helps you with what we call pacing. And then I'll just show that last one that we took, because I thought, oh guys, we got to capture that picture. Sorry, it's like the last page. There we go. Which there's my friend Ashley being the teacher with the surprise, the party.
Yeah.
So was there more? Is that what you were hoping I would be saying about this?
Talk about school visits with the book, with the dummy book.
Oh, yes. Okay. So in particular, did I bring this one? I did. But yeah, so at my son's schools for the past 2 years, they have during Dr. Seuss Week, they have Read Across America Week, and they would have kids come in. So the collage of dancer to author that I showed, Vincent illustrated for me one of those books. It's just a totally different book. And I would just go in and read those and read these. And one of the classes, before one of my sons had her as a kindergarten teacher, they would let me go to a bunch of different grade levels. I was like, yeah, I'll read to all the grade levels. Sure. And so I had them do like thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down of how they felt about the book. And this was one that I'd written prior to the 10 Ballet Dancers, and it's not about dance. I do have more books that aren't just about dance.
Right.
And all the kindergartners mainly were like, yeah, and all the other classes. This one class, man, they were harsh. They're like,
yeah, they can be.
But I know, and it was great. It's the brutal honesty of kids, and it was fine. And I just was like, okay, it's all right. You can't please everybody. But it was cool the next year when I had that teacher and I read 10 Ballet Dancers that time. She was like, what about that other book? What happened to that other book? So she really loved that book, Sean. So when we talk in January, I might be yeah, she was still talking about it a year later. But yeah, that has just been such a joy to get to go in and do that. Even with, I've written a 1 chapter book. I've managed to write 1 chapter book. And I got to go into a 5th grade classroom, and they actually had me come back like for a second day because they enjoyed it so much. And my son's 3rd grade teacher, she's like, Amanda, I was going to try to get some work done, but I just can't stop listening to your story. So that felt really nice. But yeah, so just those visits have been so fun, and just to see the joy in the kids' eyes and such. And so it'll be so much cooler, when things are starting to open up more and everything. I will contact those teachers, go back to the school and go, here, I have a real book to show you now. Because one time, I think that's what happened with that class too, like the one that was like this for me, is I showed them a different book. I said, this is what books look like before they become like this. And then they're like, well, read that real book. Read that one. And I was like, but I'm going to share this one today.
Yep. Yeah. I thought that the energy around going into schools with your mock-up was like, okay, because in the old days, people don't understand how much publishing has changed. And in the old days, it was, you turned your book over and then somebody else sold it for you. Those days are gone. It is a relationship between publisher and author and illustrator, and those things have to work together. And so I knew that you were ready to make that happen. One of the things I just popped up on the screen here was the tagline review from Kirkus, which is one of the big review companies, saying that your book is a challenging, inventive tale that works best for young dancers. I think Basil said in the comments, if you have comments and what have you, folks, go ahead and put those below so we can bring you into the conversation. Basil says, I greatly appreciate that you included a pronunciation guide and definitions of the French words. As you talk about thick skin and your kindergartners telling you they didn't like it, when you start putting a book out for review, you start hearing from everybody, and you just have to learn to know that people hear things the way and read things the way they want to. But how important it was to put that glossary in there, because we know that we know that this isn't 10 little monkeys jumping on the bed, that it's a book that you have to really think about reading. And it takes work, and it takes, you have to be involved in the text to get it. And so the glossary in the back, I think, really helps that. And I think that's been really important. And I know as a publisher, getting the pictures from you originally to be able to go, oh, that's what this looks like. Because you shared a lot of those with Catherine directly, didn't you?
Yeah. So Lalo and I actually wound up, the only one I shared with her was the pirouette one, the falling over one, because she was just doing such an incredible job of creating such beautiful pictures and making the dancers look just right of the ones I sent her. Because I was like, I'm a dance teacher. I feel like it has to look just right, or near close to just right. And she had, when she did this page with those dancers and the falling over, she had them all in like these beautiful, perfect positions. I was like, wait, but the text talks about falling over. It's okay. I hadn't wanted to say anything because as authors, we want to give the illustrator that free reign and everything. But when I saw that it wasn't matching the text, I was like, I just kind of had this in mind, like take it wherever you'd like. And I shared that picture with her, and then she went with it how she would like. For example, in the photo, it's a girl falling into another girl, and she went ahead and put a girl falling into a boy. So that actually then got Lalo's name in the book when she did that too. So I said, hey, Sean, so she's fallen into Lalo. So is it okay if we change it from the other name? I'll just say that, so then you don't accidentally get that one stuck in your head, to Lalo. And then I was so excited to get to tell Lalo, and I asked his permission too, like, would you like your name in the book? And he was just ecstatic to have his name in the book also. But if you go back on like my Instagram feeds and on my Amanda Malek-Ahmadi author page, you'll see some behind the scenes photos that I've done that basically Lalo and I one day set out and we made photos of all the different pictures. I was about 20 weeks pregnant with our daughter at the time. So
that's right. Yeah.
Having to like figure that out for a girl and things, and still doing my tours and everything. But yeah, so Lalo and I actually showed every single move, and she was amazing because we accidentally showed it on our right side, because dancers, we tend to love our right side. But if you see my quote on my website, I always talk about love your left side, or it won't love you back. And so she then transcribed that over, and she was just a joy to work with, and she didn't mind, like, if I was like, could we just, that glissade, can we just fix that? And she was happy to do it, which was just amazing, and I was so grateful. So but we did definitely send her all the photos.
She really and Deborah, I think that answers your question. Deborah had said, how close to your mock-up is your book? Did the illustrator see your photos? She not only saw your photos, but she saw the extra ones we sent her. And I'm just going to say, being married to an illustrator myself, who is not the illustrator for this book, but Michelle, who is one of our illustrators and also the person who owns the company, I know how hard it is for illustrators to get it right. And we really put Catherine through the ringer to get these things right. And she's one of the most professional people I've ever worked with. I'm so pleased with her work. And I thought it was interesting that in the Kirkus review, they did a separate call out for her to other things that she's written. Her animal work, her drawings of animals and stuff, are just terrific. So if you get a chance to go look at her book as well. If you have other comments, we're kind of coming to the close of where we're at here. So if you've got other comments or what have you, please put those in the space below. If you have already ordered a book, thank you very much. We really do appreciate that. If you have not, you certainly can get the book wherever you get books, and your local indie bookstore can. Oh, my screen just went blank. Are you still there?
Yep.
Oh, yes. Okay, there it is. Okay. Your local indie bookstore can order a copy of the book for you from their Ingram system, which is their standard ordering system. You can get it on Amazon, what have you. You can order through Barnes and Noble. We discovered today you can even order it through Walmart if you want. If you have received the book, and especially if you purchase it through Amazon or what have you, I can't tell you how important it is that your reviews of the book really matter to us. They really matter to Amazon and to the sales of that book. And sometimes people will say, oh, I don't have time to write a review. I'm telling you, if you can put 3 sentences together you've got a review. So we would appreciate any of you that may have picked up the book through Amazon, through Kindle or paperback or hardback, to leave a review, because that really helps us a lot as well. Do you have any prizes left to give away?
I do. I still have a bunch, actually. And even if you didn't order it on Amazon, you can still do the Amazon review. They just
Yep,
they have their different things. But yeah, you can even take a picture of it also. They love that. And it says I only have like 2 minutes left on Instagram. So let me just say this, and then we'll do more prizes. Is if you did pre-order and it wasn't from the Small Tooth Dog Publishing Group site, please message me to let me know that you did. And if you can take a screenshot, that's great. And I'll need your email address, because everybody who pre-ordered or pre-orders during the launch and a little bit extended in November, you are going to get to have a dance class with me that your children can take, that you can take, and I'll be going through the steps in the book and breaking them down. It's just having some fun and doing some of the things that I do in some of my littler kid dance classes and some of my older kids, because I truly do feel like this book, for those of you that are dancers out there watching, that as older dancers, you'll enjoy this. And I really see this as a lovely, recital gift. And then, the holidays are coming up and everything. So it will make a beautiful gift for that too.
Yep.
And remember, if you win a prize, go ahead and message me your address also. You can do it through my Amanda Malek-Ahmadi author page or on Instagram at author_Amanda. And yeah, I do have some more prizes. We could double up on some prizes there, or if there's any names I haven't heard. I believe Deborah did get a prize. That's the one that's in my head. And Arthur, I know you got that shirt. Are we seeing any more names?
Yeah, I'm looking for comments. A couple of my staff have been connected. Thank you. Michelle, who again is the owner of Small Tooth Dog, her comment is that she's very happy with this book. So if the boss is happy, the rest of us can be happy.
So happy. It was so cool to get the hardback the day that I got to pick up the book. I was like, oh, it's the hardback. It was amazing.
I was happy to bring that surprise to you. I wasn't originally planning on printing the hardbacks first, but for reasons, and I can tell you about that later, we ended up getting hardbacks first. And I was so delighted to be able to get you the hardback first, the case bound, if you want to be official, the case bound book as well.
I'm learning lots of official words lately.
You are, and you're doing a great job. And like every new author, you have to learn the industry. Publishing is its own voice, and if people get too hung up sometimes on kind of the airs of publishing, and it's like, you're really good about just be human about it, and you were with us, and that really mattered to us. And in today's modern publishing, it's relationships that count. So you've done good. All right, why don't you go ahead and wrap up what you need there, and then I'll do the last moments.
Sounds good. Let me get off Instagram. I have another way. I know that some people weren't able to come on live, so I'm just gonna look at a couple of things for prizes. Deborah, did you get back to us? Did Deborah already get a prize?
There's also a Jody in here as well.
A Jody. Okay, awesome. And Mike read it too, and then goes, that's the publisher's wife, but that's okay. These aren't prizes from my company, because I don't have a company. I just have this beautiful book. So Michelle, you're gonna get a 5, 6, 7, 8 shirt, since you love this dance book so much. So when I come to pick up the copies that I get to sign that were pre-ordered from Small Tooth Dog, I will be bringing you that shirt. And sorry, what name did you say, Sean?
Jody Chapladine, I believe it is.
Thank you, Jody. And Jody is joining us from Twitter. And Jody, you are going to be a winner of a dance charm. Just kind of throwing these out here. And raise your hand if you love Pilates. Anybody out there who loves Pilates?
As you can tell,
or give a heart. I do. My friend Carrie Miles does a wonderful Pilates class. Are we getting any hearts or a comment that somebody loves Pilates?
Yes, but I can't tell who does the hearts.
That's true.
Doesn't let me do that. So
okay, tell us who you were. First person to answer.
They're slightly behind us. They'll get there.
Oh, yes.
Deborah answers your question by saying that. Jody says, I would love to try it, but haven't yet. Must be Pilates. The Pilates question.
Okay. Sounds good. So that was Jody who answered first?
Yes, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, unless somebody tells me different, unless Kelsey or Mike tells me different. So
All right, perfect. Okay.
Good.
And then I lived in Florida for quite a while and actually became allergic, very highly sensitive to lavender. And so that Natural Harmony stuff, the oils, you can get it in a lavender free option for that sleep one. I know that a lot of sleep things come with lavender in them. Is anyone else out there allergic to lavender? I'm curious, or have a high sensitivity to it. And then while we're waiting for that, I'm curious, does anyone have my special sensitivity? I'm going to look back at some people who were interested here. And so pulling from my first screenshot, I'm going to say, Rose, you're going to get some nails sent to you. Rose Maldonado. What Mike just said, Maldonado, he says. There we go. Did I say it that time? So you're going to get the nails. So message me your address. And over in the dancer pocket shirt is going to be for Rodrigo Ramos. So message me your address. And got a couple more. The Wild Mint Coffee Soap. It's just a little cute, tiny bar soap, but I wanted to have all these fun prizes. And do you have another name?
Tiny soaps.
Tiny soaps. I think we've got, was anybody allergic to lavender or sensitive?
Well, they can let you know too. How are people following up with you on prizes?
You just message me via, some of you know me for Twitter, so you could just say you won, or I have my Amanda Malek-Ahmadi author page, and you can message me via there so that I can get that to you. And remember, if you pre-ordered or you're planning to, or you go ahead and order during the launch, to go ahead and send me your email address so that I can get you that Zoom code when it's time. Okay. So that's okay if you're not allergic to lavender also. I just said lavender, really weird.
I'm popping up on the screen there for people. This is the website for the Small Tooth Dog Group. If you go to contact, if you need to, if you missed something today or we didn't get something to you, our email address, staff@smalltoothdog.com. If we're missing something, you need to communicate with us, please go ahead and do that through the contact page. Just email us directly if you're missing something or something didn't happen, and one of us will take care of that. We'll take care of that for you. And then once again, you can find us at 10 Ballet Dancers. Okay, Michelle says yay for t-shirts. The last thing I want to talk about is tomorrow. We have one more piece of the kickoff tomorrow. Can you address that a little bit? And then we'll go ahead and wrap up.
I can. That sounds great. So Michelle Nelson-Schmidt, I've mentioned her quite a few times. She does a Storytime Live on her own page every Wednesday. And what she has is you can enter into win prizes. So her prizes tomorrow will be 5 copies of 10 Ballet Dancers. And we'll be sharing on the discussion page of the event. I'll share it in a multitude of places, but if you look for Michelle Nelson-Schmidt, you can find her on Facebook, and then she has a little thing that you enter in, and you just have to like her page on Facebook, and then you're entered to win. She shares every week. I highly recommend, if you've got little ones, to let her in on that. May, you can chime in. Is that what Arthur does? Does he get to watch Michelle on Wednesdays? And then I don't know what else I want to say about that. She's just this amazing person with just so much light. She is in Florida, so she starts around 7:30, but it'll be 4:30 Arizona time, Pacific Standard Time, Mountain Standard Time, whatever time we're on. I always want them to just have a special Arizona time for me.
Right. Right.
But we will give you that link to both her going live along with the link to get added in to the prizes.
Cool. I've gone ahead and pulled up her page, so people who are watching can actually see her page right now. It's at MNS, as in Michelle Nelson-Schmidt, mnscreative.com. And it says Storytime Live there. And she goes live, as you have just said, 7:30 in Florida, which is for those of you who are not in the US. So that's also New York time, 7:30 New York, also, or currently 4:30 Los Angeles. So just to kind of put that in perspective for our out of country people. Very good. Let me go ahead and close this out. So anyway, MNS, as in Michelle Nelson Schmidt Creative, MNS Creative, and that's tomorrow at 4:30 Arizona time. Well, this is your last moment. Congratulations on your book. This is your last moment.
It's the beginning. It's another beginning.
It's another beginning
of the journey.
It's I just want to tell you how much we've enjoyed working on this project, and look forward to continuing to get it out there to the world when we can all get back and see people live, and to see you in the schools doing work with this will be terrific. To see you building your own career around yourself as an author. So we're very excited about that. Basil says this has been a great book launch event. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Deborah says, thank you, Amanda and Sean. Your book is awesome. Thank you for that. It's been our privilege to make that happen. All right, you get the last word. Amanda, what do you want to say?
The last word. I have 3 more prizes real quick.
Oh, those are last words.
Those are last words. So Arthur, you're going to get that dance charm. So a dance charm and that shirt will be going your way. And did we get anybody about lavender, my checkers?
I don't see anything. Christy says this has been amazing.
Who did?
Jody says, thank you.
Was it Christy?
Yeah.
Thank you. So what I got, Christy, you're gonna get some nails coming your way. I think I still had I might be lying. You're getting wild mint. See, I lost track. Wild mint soap. And then so message me that. And then the Natural Harmony. Those it's a sleep one. It's if you've got headaches. It's actually my mom and her husband started that company, Natural Harmony. And if you go to authoramanda.com, you can check out all the prizes. For those of you that have pre-ordered and order, there's going to be more prizes given away at the dance time, along with a studio that will be able to earn a dance class with me for their studio. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone who has joined in today, everyone who is going to watch this as it keeps playing for a while. And I hope you guys enjoy listening to Michelle tomorrow. And I'm just so appreciative for all the support, all the love that has already surrounded this book. And I would love to see your reviews. And yeah, I'm just so happy. And you can always message me other questions and anything you've got going on. And if you want those flat ballet dancers to visit you, let me know. That would be so great. And thank you, Sean and Michelle, for believing in me, for taking a chance on this dancer book.
Yep. It's going to be terrific. Everyone, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Sean Buvala from the Small Tooth Dog Publishing Group. On behalf of all of our staff and Amanda and her family, to Dr. Mike, to all of you, thank you very much. It's been terrific being with you. If you'd like to know more about the book, go to 10balletdancers.com, 10balletdancers.com. Feel free to leave comments, contact us if you need to. This has been a terrific hour, 15 minutes, whatever it's been together. Thank you all for being with us. And at that point, we're going to say goodbye, good night, take care of yourselves. Bye.
Bye.